Thank you, Chirag. This has been a really amazing town hall so far, so I'll keep it going. Thank you, everybody, for joining. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Roham Gharegozlou, founder and CEO of Dapper Labs. I just want to say, Deet's been my partner for 11 years, but at this point, I'm super excited for this move because it's not only is it his life's work, but I'm confident we can create more impact working as part of separate organizations. And by the way, I am old enough to know the moment that Chirag is talking about, and I am 100% convinced that at that moment when the lab stack broke through on the web, everyone thought of the internet as a place just for websites and email. Similarly, today people think of blockchain as a place just for tokens, whereas the reality is it's all about the applications that wrap around those tokens, give them utility, give them value, and help them reach more and more people. I'm also pretty excited about the icebreaker question because it lets me shine a light on the Flow team. I, like a lot of other people on this call, got into crypto thanks to Dieter. He sells himself short. He joined my last company about 4 or 5 months after we started it. So I think of him as a co-founder of Axiom Zen as well. And the first thing he said was, we should be mining Bitcoin. The honest truth is we'd never ended up actually mining Bitcoin. What we did end up doing is flirting with crypto as an application platform, even back in 2014. So this is a team that went to the Money 2020 hackathon in Las Vegas in 2014. They actually ended up winning the grand prize at the hackathon, $20,000. And 2 out of the 3 projects that they submitted were apps built on top of Bitcoin. And you can see Khan, our head of engineering at Flow, with the big smile holding the check there. Leo in the corner, who at the time was CTO of ZenHub, but is now also building the Flow protocol, and Steve in the corner also, who was at the time an engineer and now leading people and culture. So great story, and almost a decade in terms of just thinking about distributed systems and how to take them mainstream. Awesome. So what am I here to talk about? You've already heard the details on Crescendo. I want to give you my perspective as an application developer. And number 2, I want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into Dapper Labs' strategy or approach in 2024, in particular from the perspective of the Flow community and everything we're going to be doing. Awesome. So moving on, you've heard a lot about Crescendo by now. So let me give you my perspective. I think that everything that Chirag presented basically boils down to serving the 2 biggest needs on Flow, which is number 1, enabling next generation liquidity infrastructure that people like Dapper Labs and others can build on top of. And second, dramatically simplifying developer onboarding for the current cohort of developers that exists in Web3 and is building a lot of this tooling and infrastructure. And I'll explain a little bit of why and maybe what the current Flow community can do to take advantage and actually get a head start. Because you guys know the timelines, and folks that are not paying attention don't yet. So number 1, liquidity infrastructure starts with efficient on and off ramps, because nothing can happen until everybody, users, developers, traders, feel safe being able to come and leave with any amount of funds without going through centralized parties. And so how can we make sure everybody can do that across any non-custodial ecosystem on Flow? For people that can't build their own Dapper wallet, we want really strong cross-chain interoperability, the ability to move value efficiently, whether it's NFTs or fungible tokens, between Flow and the rest of the world. And Crescendo unlocks this by letting bridges, swaps, any EVM compatible tooling to easily expand onto Flow, and letting Flow applications easily compose into them and be able to build consumer interfaces into them. So we're super excited about this. But after this happens, then this kicks off the ability for Flow to support its own native DeFi ecosystem on top of all of that. So we're talking about basic pillars like the automated market maker and decentralized exchange. We already have an incredible team in IncrementFi and Block2 and others building components of that. But you can also then build more complex applications on top, lending, borrowing, the perp DEX, et cetera. And these will become bigger needs as the ecosystem matures. Each of the pillars adding up to the next, in order to build this sort of layer of infrastructure and liquidity that anybody can participate in, everybody can build on, and everybody can benefit from. Crescendo is what enables this, because with Cadence 1.0, you have immutable smart contracts, and with EVM compatibility, you have all of the network effects of Ethereum that help bootstrap our approach. I just want to make a quick note that from an application developer's perspective, even for a network that is only for mainstream focused applications, you need a base level of DeFi that in fact may end up being stronger than something that won't be able to reach mainstream scale. Number one, the DeFi provides a liquidity backbone for assets and applications on the network. It will be fully composable for anybody to build more complex applications on top, benefiting from flow features like easy onboarding or account linking, et cetera. It will give more utility for fungible tokens on Flow, including Flow itself, but the ability to create and sustain different and more complex ecosystems will be possible. And to be able to have, for example, a fungible token that's ERC20 compatible while having the bulk of the application and complex smart contract logic be in Cadence, and having those two things interoperate and be composable with one another. And then as we've seen, DeFi can actually also help in driving mainstream adoption. Certain kinds of DeFi, when you're talking about stable coins, when you're talking about giving accessibility to people around the world to basic infrastructure that they may not have access to. And I think, again, Flow's other features, like the ability to be mobile first, to have keys on a secure enclave on a device, et cetera, can help jumpstart the sort of next wave of adoption, even for sort of utilitarian use cases like currency or currency moving machines. Awesome. So then the second big need is developer onboarding. And really by that, I mean the ability for EVM-centric developers to launch on Flow almost as if it was another L2. Chirag talked a little bit about this, but I won't rehash it. But the point isn't to stop with you can come over from Ethereum easily. The point is to keep building. And actually, what's most interesting about Flow EVM is what happens after the application comes over from Ethereum. And that makes it different than any other L2, makes it different than any other L1. And basically, I think of Flow EVM as a Trojan horse into the rest of Flow. When I first heard about it, my response was, this is like Parallels on Mac, letting people who aren't yet comfortable trying the new paradigm because it misses this piece or that piece, come into the new paradigm, bring their assets and funds over, and then be able to quickly interact with the rest of the system. And I'll kind of touch on why. You can imagine a multi-chain or cross-chain protocol being able to quickly launch on Flow with the exact same offering that they have on other networks, but then being able to easily add account linking, being able to easily take advantage of a secure enclave, be able to easily explore more complex smart contract logic, because with Cadence, their developers can move faster and avoid 3-4 rounds of smart contract audits every time. And so that won't be a blocker to adoption. And we've already seen it play out. One of my favorite teams on Flow is Magic. And when they first launched on Flow, it was the same product as everywhere else. But very quickly, they added account linking. So now you can have a Magic wallet and quickly attach it to a non-custodial Flow wallet and be able to access FCL-enabled applications. So that's incredibly cool. And all of this is possible only because of that free and full composability between virtual machine environments on Flow. And maybe I'll put a finer point on it. It's full in the sense that it's just like another smart contract on Flow, and you can compose with it, to move assets in and out and put multiple functions in one contract call. But what's also important to call out is that it's free. Your users and your application will be able to move assets back and forth between the Cadence environment, the Solidity and the EVM environment, and potentially future environments without having to incur costs every time that would be traditionally associated with a bridge. This unlocks all kinds of different use cases because you no longer have to worry about complexity and composability, and it fulfills Flow's original mandate of we're not introducing two different environments on Flow. We're not breaking up the liquidity environment on Flow. In fact, these are going to be two different. The concept is the developers should be able to write whatever part of their application in whatever language that they want and have it be able to seamlessly interoperate and work together. So the upshot is apps on Flow will be able to have better user experience, better developer experience, access to on-chain features that developers on other networks would be unable to play around with because those programming languages are less safe, less easy to work with, but they're not giving up EVM liquidity. They're not giving up EVM network effects, and we don't have to rebuild absolutely everything 0 to 1. We can focus on 1 to 10. So as a developer, I get super excited about this. But that's just the start. As you saw, Cadence is shipping with a series of performance and developer ergonomics improvements, 20 plus to Cadence alone, that I can't cover here, some of which you will also mean a lot to individual applications and new kinds of use cases. So the best next step is to go deep into, if you're part of the Flow community, go deep into what Cadence 1.0 means for your application. Join the working groups, join the, I believe there's going to be weekly office hours for the next few weeks. Study what EVM can mean, how you can go get access to those developers, those users, that liquidity, and then leverage that free virtual machine composability because it is truly unique. And as Dieter says, we believe it's not only sets a new bar for the industry, but unlocks the concept of people being able to easily build new applications that are Web3 powered, but have a great user experience. And then if you're part of the EVM community, we'll be coming to bug you a lot in the next few months. We want to bring over the best bridges, liquidity on and off ramps, and then followed by the tooling and platforms that mainstream developers, mainstream creators would want to build on and build for. And so people will be able to build starting at the end of February when the developer network, Crescendo Network, first goes live. And that's right around the corner. So with all that said, I hope you're as fired up as I am. And I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about Dapper Labs. I have a couple quick updates for you. And I want to give everybody here, all of you, early access into our new product, even before it goes on chain. Before I get to the super fun stuff, a quick update on node operation. This time last year, Dapper Labs was already below the Byzantine threshold. We operated less than a third of consensus nodes, and we did all of that in-house. Across that time, we've moved towards decentralization. We'll continue to move towards more decentralization and enablement of the community. So we only operate 12.5% of consensus nodes today, and another 5% via partners. Thank you to Figment, Coinbase, and others. And then the Flow Foundation operates 17.5% of nodes itself, also directly. So you have decentralized node operation, but from trustworthy institutions. And other institutions that run nodes on the Flow network include Google and Samsung and T-Systems, who run large execution nodes that are nonetheless don't have any governance power in the network because of Flow's multi-node architecture that I think Alex will touch on in great detail. But we're proud to have them on board, and it's important to recognize these are the folks securing transactions. But I also learned this morning we have over 150 access nodes live today, and collectively between Flow Foundation and Dapper Labs, 10 of them are being operated by those two groups. And so vast majority are being operated by the community, and love to see that, and love to see that continue. So talking about Dapper Labs again, our mission at Dapper is still exactly the same. It's mainstream Web3 adoption, and the portfolio we have is quite incredible. the way we talk about our mission is put a wallet in every pocket. That's become a little hazier with account linking because we can now onboard users without a formal wallet in their pocket, and then later they can link it. But it's the same concept of we want to enable people to access this new world, and to do that, we want to inspire them and give them a reason to get involved, and that's our mission as a company. So we have a world-class portfolio. We've really focused on Disney, Top Shot, NBA Top Shot, and NFL All Day as our first-party IP. But we have CryptoKitties and Michaela, two incredible brands that we're exploring, and I hope to have some interesting updates for you soon. So what do we do first? First, we open up what we're doing, and from the perspective of Dapper Labs, that means take Dapper Wallet and let those users be able to, within 2 clicks, access open and permissionless composability on the rest of the Flow ecosystem. Today, a small portion of Dapper Wallet users have access to account linking. By the time of the Crescendo upgrade, 100% of Dapper Wallet users will have access to account linking. And so they'll be able to easily get their own Flow wallet, access FCL-enabled applications, and the rest of the ecosystem, be able to move assets freely back and forth. There's about $40 million of USDC sitting in Dapper accounts. And we want to, if folks can move it out, then they can be able to access new kinds of applications, new kinds of utility, potentially explore DeFi and other products on Flow. And you'll hear a little bit about that from Floaty later today. There's nearly 1 million Dapper accounts with assets in them. And so I see this as a huge opportunity to give those customers more to do with their stuff, and to deepen their journey in Web3, and for us to fulfill our mission to get a Flow wallet in their pocket. So account linking allows for best of both worlds, great onboarding and self-custody. I won't go into detail here because you'll hear it from Floaty, but for us, it's really important. Liquidity needs to be free. Assets on funds need to be able to move freely. Composability needs to be complete. Developers need to be able to build for all assets and experiences, no matter whether they start in a non-custodial wallet or start a custodial wallet. And users need to be able to do anything with their stuff. At the end of the day, it's their stuff. And so they should be able to access new products, whether they can be accessed within the custodial experience or not. And that might mean also becoming eligible for airdrops and other incentives from anyone in the ecosystem. Awesome. So Dapper in 2024 is already shipping on all cylinders. And this is the super fun stuff. We have a couple of things in the works at Dapper right now. And the team has gelled together in a way that I would say is the best in Dapper Labs' history. So it's been a lot of fun. I want to talk about one thing today, and you're going to get a demo later on, as well as access, as long as you have the float from today's town hall, and I'll show you the QR at the end of this presentation as well. Another thing I want to call out is our perspective is we want to ship on chain. We think the ecosystem has evolved dramatically. We deeply believe in the vision that the team's presented, the Flow team has presented around the composability between Flow and the EVM ecosystem. And we think we can play a significant role in building new kinds of products and services that people can use and that can really benefit from everything that's now mature. So product I want to talk about today has 4 components. 1, daily fun around NBA fandom. 2, it can onboard and engage new communities. 3, it has transparent game logic and data on chain. And 4, it enables consumer experiences, composable experiences to be built on top, whether that's consumer or even deepening and going more hardcore. And of course, I'm talking about Fast Break and Fast Break on chain, which even people that are playtesting it now may not know. This is a new game mode that you can play with your NBA Top Shot NFTs. You can play with friends. You can compete against collectors from all around the world. Fast Break has been in testing for the past couple of months, and we're super excited to share it with you. It's available right now. It's live on Flow Testnet. mainnet is expected in 2 to 4 weeks. And if you scan this QR code, you can get access to it fast-tracked today, which is great news. And today, you can go in, use your NBA Top Shots, and let us know what you think. So thank you very much. I'll pass it over to T now because I think I'm over time. But please get in touch. This is my personal email address. I really want to work with folks that are especially tapping into the new potential that Crescendo provides for Flow. And in general, I think this is going to be the biggest year yet for consumer Web3. And so it's going to be a fun one. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the town hall.